Good evening, all. Welcome to the second day of 5-day event on frontiers in computing and its applications.
Internet is down. My messages are. Hello, good evening, everyone. This is static.
Good evening, all. Am I audible? Yeah. Okay, thank you. Good evening once again. And welcome to the second day of 5-day event on frontiers in computing and its applications. In this session, we Dr. Debashish Das, Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science and Engineering, IIT Jodhpur, is talking on 5G and blockchain technology for smart cities. Dr. Debashish Das Dr. Debashish Das received his PhD in Computer Science and Engineering from Indian Institute of Technology, Patna, Bihar, India. He joined IIT Jodhpur in 2019, and before joining IIT Jodhpur, he was working as an assistant professor in NIIT University, India, and BITS Pilani, KK Birla Goa campus, India. His research interests include vehicular ad hoc network, VANETs, blockchain, the Internet of Things, machine learning, and artificial intelligence. Dr. Das published 120 research papers in top international journals. He has 10 sponsored projects and 2 consultancy projects to his credit. He has been awarded the Early Career Research Award from Science and Engineering Research Board, Department of Science and Technology, Government of India. He has many research collaborations with premier institutions in India and different universities across the globe. He has been engaged in different academic activities inside and outside the institute. He has supervised 2 PhD students and 10 are currently pursuing their thesis. He has also supervised more than 30 ME or MTech theses. He is a senior member of IEEE and BTS and a professional member of ACM. We welcome you to the workshop, sir, and over to you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you.
Garima. Thank you for invitation. Okay. So just I'll share my screen. Okay. My screen is visible to you?
Yes, sir, it's visible.
Okay. So very good evening, all of you. I am 𝗙𝗿cie Das from Computer Science and Engineering Department, IIT Jodhpur. Okay. So today I am going to discuss the blockchain for 5G and beyond technology for smart city application. Okay. So here in the case of a smart city means we know it is the smart transportation, smart healthcare, smart communication, smart grid. Okay. So here in this case, how the 5G technology is under play the important role, and how the blockchain technology, the top of the 5G, is play the important role. Okay. So 5G is basically for the communication and for the efficiency. So why we use the 5G? Because the efficient communication of the any network. Okay. And the blockchain is basically responsible for the secure the all information through the communication, as well as the it is basically store the information securely. Okay. So today I'm going to discuss how the blockchain based 5G application and 5G and beyond application, and which is basically the different type of smart city application, like the smart transportation, smart healthcare, smart grid. Okay. So this is the smart city. So in the smart city with the different type of component, like the smart transportation, smart environment, smart building, smart healthcare, smart home. Okay. And so in the case of 5G, what is the benefit? Any idea from the audience? What is the benefit if we are using the 5G and we move from the, currently we are in the 4G. So if we move from the 4G to 5G, then what is the benefit? Anyone? Any idea? You can write on the chat box as well. So initially we are in the 3G, then we shifted to the 4G because we want the high transmission rate, less latency. Yes, more bandwidth. Yes, good. Okay, so more bandwidth, and also your data transmission rate is faster, and delay is very less. So that's why the ultra delay, okay, or ultra latency network. So basically our objective is, and the 5G will provide the very high data rate, high coverage with the significantly, and improve the quality of experience, and extremely low latency. So these are the in general thing, and which is needed for the any user in the case of real life application. Okay. So if we move from the 4G to 5G, then we are getting the means basically high bandwidth, very high data rate, high coverage area, as well as the increase the quality of service. Okay. And as well as extremely low latency, and which is needed for the everyone for the transmitting their information. Or like, if example, like in the case of we are in the case of 4G, and if you want to download the some file, some MB, it will take the some around 30 minutes or something. But if we are using the 5G technology, okay, or 5G beyond technology, so it will take around the 1 minute or something like that, or less than 1 minute. Okay. So then which is more faster, which is good for the some type of application. And now the challenging is why it is called the 5G and beyond, because in the case of 5G and beyond means basically your 5G, if we create the 5G infrastructure, okay, then no need to change in the change in our infrastructure, but some partial part we are changing, okay, so which is good for the real life application. And extend means if we extend it from the 5G, then 5G to 6G, 7G, so then no need to change our architecture. Somehow the minimal requirement and minimum changings and additional parameter we can add, then which is directly converted from the 5G to 6G, 6G to 7G, like that. Okay, but this 4G to 5G is and the real life challenges, and you know that every application, they have the some pro and cons, okay, as well as the some disadvantages and advantages. So in the case of your 5G technology, okay, some disadvantages are there, okay, related to the society and related to the human life or animal life, something is there, okay, but we want this technology and for our high data rate and high coverage area, as well as extremely low latency, and also improve the quality of service. But top of this, the one challenge is, and the communication is good, okay, but our this thing, the security is also needed, okay, security and securely information, we transmit all information securely or something like that, which is very important. So that's why the blockchain play the important role, okay. And security means we basically traditional concept, we have to have the confidentiality, we have to have the authentication, we have to have the integrity and access and availability, which is our network security. 5G is and the network and communication, 5G type of network we want to design this type of network for the 5G and beyond network for the smart city application, and where we want the confidentiality, authentication, integrity and access and availability, okay. So now why the blockchain is play the important role, okay. If the traditional solution we are using in the case of our this thing, the security, okay, so then which is not good, because the our 5G network is distributed, and so a blockchain also the distributed technology, so this mapping is very good. So that's why we easily use the blockchain technology and integrate the blockchain technology top of the 5G technology, which is good, okay. So now there's the challenging. So now our performance is 5G performance is very good, okay. We have the ultra extremely low latency, we have the highly throughput, we have the high faster data transmission, all this thing. And if the top of this we are using including the security, either traditional security or blockchain based security, then somehow we compromise with the performance, okay. We enhance the security but compromise with the performance, okay. So if we integrate the blockchain technology, which is not means which is somehow we benefited but somehow compromise with a little bit with the performance. So somehow blockchain technology also we can check how we integrate this thing, and which is the main challenging thing. So blockchain provide you security, but it is also relatively costly technology, as well as it will give you the security but also compromise with a little bit with the performance, okay. So now blockchain in general, you know, the nowadays the blockchain is under distributed ledger, it is decentralized, and it is it means that it is not stored anything into the centralized server, okay, and it is basically distributed in the environment, okay. And somehow we have the two types of the blockchain. One is public blockchain, private blockchain, okay. Public blockchain means anyone can join into the network, anyone can leave from the network, but private blockchain means only the your authenticate user create the blockchain within the. So different application wise we can use the different type of blockchain, okay. Like your blockchain, if you want to use the blockchain for the banking application, then we are focusing on the private blockchain. If you want to use the some traditional smart city application, so we can use the private blockchain, okay. So and in the blockchain we can perform the any type of transaction, and we can create the individual block, and this block is added to with the old block, new block is added with the block, and here the whole process is there, okay. So this is the basically our concept in the case of blockchain. And blockchain is under, these are the benefit, okay, in the case. Okay, so this is that, okay. So one question, okay, so this, okay, so question is, how do you mean the performance again? So like in the case of, if the initially you transmit the some information, okay, like the one packet you want to transmit from one device to another device, okay. So then if you directly send the packet, okay, in the case of simple packet transmission, okay, then you transmit the packet within the using the 5G technology, within the second you transmit the 100 packet, okay. But this packet or the communication network, you are not encrypted the packet, okay, or you are not using any security mechanism in the when you transmit the packet, okay. But in the top of this you want to use the encryption mechanism or simple security mechanism, then automatically your packet size will increase. If your packet size will increase, then what happened? And also the encryption algorithm, it will take the some time for the computation, so automatically delay is your there, as well as the your packet size also increase, header size is increased. Then when you transmit the packet, so you are not able to transmit the 100 packet within the 1 second. Now you are able to transmit the packet only less than 100. So less than 100 means your network performance is not good, but you added the security, no one can access your information, okay. So that's why like this way degrade the performance of the system. We can add the additional technology, but this security mechanism will take the some time, okay. So this one, and in the case of blockchain, okay, we have the some properties. It is distributed, it is has the some a consensus algorithm, and consensus algorithm is on the inside the blockchain, which is a set of rule to ensure the agreement among the all participants, and then the with the status of the blockchain ledger, okay. So this is the general blockchain concept. So any user can perform the transaction, okay. Then in number of your this miner are there, they want to they basically check and identify the who is responsible for create the block. Then your block is created, then this block is validated, and finally this new block is added into the old block and complete the transaction, okay. This is the general process, okay. So and this just I discussed, this is a public blockchain, private blockchain. Sometimes it is called the permissionless and permission based blockchain, okay. We have the some well-known public blockchain like Bitcoin, okay. So these are the thing, okay. And now realization of the our, so it is decentralized, so that's why we can use in the case of 5G network. So what is the benefit? If we realize the potential of the blockchain in the 5G network, it is necessary to understand the operation concept. What are the operation main property of the blockchain, and understand how the blockchain can bring the opportunities to the 5G application or 5G based smart city application, okay. So this is the concept overall talk, okay. So now my network connection is under somehow problem and I'm the outside, so my okay. So Amritesh, you are there?
Yes, yes, I'm
Yes,
here.
so please you continue, okay. So
Okay. I'm just sharing my screen.
okay. And he will discuss the how we really implement the blockchain and how we integrate this blockchain technology with the 5G, okay, and how we implement this blockchain using the Python code or all this thing, okay, and which is very helpful for the different type of applications.
Okay. So is my screen visible?
Yes.
Okay. So a very good evening to all. Hello.
So make it full screen mode.
Okay. It may be a problem due to the wait.
Okay, so then no issue.
मेरा आवाज नहीं आ रहा है। नहीं, अभी हम सेटिंग कर रहे थे, अभी आ रहा था जैसे कि कम्युनिकेशन
Is my screen visible now?
Yes, sir. It's visible clearly. Your voice is also audible as well.
Okay, so very good evening to all. And today we will discuss about the how blockchain is useful for 5G and beyond network. Okay, so first of all, whatever Dr. Devashish Das has discussed about the how the blockchain and 5G been related. So I'm continuing from that point. So actually, in the smart cities, we have number of applications like smart transportation, smart home, smart healthcare, everything we have required. So we will take the point by point that how the means first of all, what is the smart transportation and what are the smart healthcare system, what are the smart traffic, everything, and then we will see that how the 5G and blockchain play an important role to develop these things. So means we will just briefly discussion about the smart transportation and smart everything, and we will focus on in our discussion that how the blockchain will improve the communication working in the 5G technology, and we will see the implementation part also. So in the smart transportation, means what we are discussing in this means we are providing the traffic more reliable and more useful for the vehicular traveler. You can see here, for this purpose, we are providing the communication between the vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to roadside unit, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to pedestrian, everything. And why means why we have needed these communications? We have needed this communication because we want to communicate, means we want to provide the efficient transportation from the vehicle to pedestrian, vehicle to vehicle traveler, from vehicle to infrastructure. So the communication, what are the means what we are communicating here? We are communicating the information. Information means what? Why we have needed the information communication here? We are giving the information to the vehicle. Vehicle means the infrastructure. We are giving the information to the pedestrian that there are something happening surrounding you. Like for example, what is the meaning of this sentence? For example, one vehicle is moving from point H to point Y, and it wants to move from point Y to point Z. But between point Y to point Z, there are some traffic. So there are two possibilities. Either vehicle will move from vehicle point Y to point Z, or it will change their path. But how do means how they will know early that there are some traffic or there are some problem between point Y to point Z? So that's why we need the communication between the devices. Like vehicle to vehicle means the vehicle can communicate to other vehicle, that like here in this PPT you can see that the left side vehicle can communicate with the right side vehicle, means that they can communicate that okay, I am coming from that area from point Z and there are huge traffic in point Z, so you can change your path. So see here we are communicating. So in a 3G also we have communicated, in a 4G also we are communicating, and in a 5G we will communicating, but there are differences in the 3G, 4G, 5G. And simply we can say that the speed, and we have needed the fast information. And this fast information, how this fast information will be communicated? With the means we needed the atomicity, means automatic communication, means automatic fast information transmission. If I am saying that okay, why we have needed this communication? We have a mobile in these days. We have a mobile and we can just simply send through the communication way, like we just simply forward to a Bluetooth or other devices also. But why we have needed this type of communication? There is a problem. The problem is that at that during the vehicle means when the vehicles are moving from here to there, and if driver wants to communicate some information, they can't communicate, because if they are using the mobile, then definitely the prediction of accident will high. Okay, so we need the automatic communication. automation means what are the role of automation here? Automation play a very important role here. Why? Because sometimes what we are doing here, we are doing like the vehicle is coming from point Z, they automatically broadcast the information that the particular area like a Z, there are huge traffic or something happens like there are means some accidents had happened there, so please move your way. So this is the differences, and we have needed the fast communication without say without delay is not a very best term, because minimal delay means we have needed the minimal delay means if vehicle is because nowadays the vehicle speed is more than 60-70 km/h, and if the distance from point Y to point Z is nearly the 5 km, then definitely if the speed is the communication speed is low, obviously the vehicle will not get the accurate information, and again the vehicle will stuck in the traffic jam. So these are the benefit of the 5G technology here. So means we have needed the fast communication. Second thing is that we have needed the automated communication. Okay, so are you getting this point? And second things, if you have any doubt, you can message in the chat or you can simply ask in the portal also. So we are discussing about the 5G and the blockchain, role of these two, and how they are providing the benefit to the user, to a in our social life, and how we can integrate the 5G and the blockchain so that we can get the benefit of both in the blockchain also and in the 5G also. Okay, so here this is the part of the smart transportation. So in the smart transportation, you can ask me that what are the role of we have discussed about the role of the 5G, that the fast communication. Then you can ask me that what are the role of blockchain, as you have means you have seen the what is the blockchain. Generally we know that the blockchain is the peer-to-peer communications where we are providing the decentralized data storage, we are providing the immutability, we are providing the decentralization, and there are a lot of benefits in the blockchain, and there are a lot of benefits in the 5G also. See, then my question is, I am asking to all, what are the means, as you have seen that the in a 5G there are some security challenges. Then my question is, what is the current security challenges of the 5G network? So anyone, can you please tell me that what are the main security challenges in the 5G network? Anyone? Just guess, just think about that. Means we are just discussing about it, how the 5G and the blockchain we can integrate with each other. So can you please tell me what are the current security challenges of the 5G network? Anyone? Just put your comment. See, actually, here I am showing in the PPT so that you will get a clear point. See here, this is one cloud architecture. Here you can see that the vehicle to vehicle communication with the V2V communication. This is the V2R communication, and this is the means here it is showing only two communication, vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to RSU. But here you can see there is one architecture of the cloud. And what is the meaning of this? This is one architecture where the data has been stored. So this architecture is showing what? This is showing that this is the centralized architecture. Means we are discussing about the current security challenges in the 5G. We are assuming that this communication is implementing the 5G. Okay. So, and this is the architecture which is showing that the centralized architecture. Please listen my point. This is a centralized architecture. Means what is the meaning of the centralized architecture? Anyone? Can you please guess? What is the meaning of the centralized architecture? See, actually here you can see that the centralized architecture means there is one server, there are a number of clients, and when client requires some information, it will send to a server, and the server reply to the client. Means there is one single person which who is handling everything, and there are number of followers. Okay, so means client is requesting and server is responding. Okay, so can you think that is there any problem that the one person is replying? Yes, there is a problem. The problem is like I am speaking here and sometimes I am facing some problem in my voice. So what will happen? I can't tell you anything more. So what will happen? Suddenly, for 1 minute or for 2 minutes, our communication will stop. Okay, but when you all will communicated with each other, like Swam is communicated with Ananya, Ananya is communicated with Anappa, means all are communicating. If suddenly Shubham will get some problem in his voice, obviously the Ananya and Anappa will communicate. Means what? There is no centralized architecture. This is the, then what is the architecture? This is the decentralized architecture. And the blockchain is one example of the decentralized architecture. Okay, so our question was that what are the current security challenges of the 5G? So the current security challenges of 5G is the centralized architecture. Okay, means the current 5G network have faced various critical challenges in terms of decentralization, security, privacy and performance limitation. And why? Because due to the centralized architecture. Okay, the next thing is uh, what are the key requirements for the 5G? Means I am discussing that the okay, 5G is beneficial, 5G is useful because we have needed the fast communication without any delay. See, we are discussing about the smart cities and the application of smart cities, the smart transportation, the smart grid. So we can communicate or we can implement everything in the smart way. Like whatever we are discussing here, we can implement in a smart healthcare also. At that point, our user will change, like the patient and the hospital. Here the vehicle and the RSU. But the work will same. The communication is there also. But here we have needed the fast communication. That's why we have opened the smart transportation here. So my second point is, okay, we are discussing the benefit of the 5G here, and we have seen that the security challenges in the 5G. But what are the key requirements of the 5G? Can you please tell me what are the key requirements? As we have discussed some points here, the key requirements of the 5G. Anyone can please tell me? See, actually, as we know, the 5G is the latest wireless network in India, because in the academia and researcher we are they are researching on the 6G also, but we are assuming that the 5G is the latest here. So actually, why we are using the 5G? Because it is providing the higher capacity, means we can communicate more data, means 100 MB, 200 MB, 300 MB, 1 GB, 2 GB, means and more, means the higher capacity, then higher data rate, obviously the kbps like the 300 means 1 Gbps, 2 Gbps, 4 Gbps and more, lower latency, okay, massive device connectivity, enhanced inducer. Okay, so for this we have needed the reduce operation cost, consistent service provisioning. Okay, so means the simply answer of the our means what are the key requirement for 5G? We have needed the reduce operation cost, consistent service provisioning, because we have needed a higher capacity, higher data volume. Okay. Now, as per discussion, we have seen that the what is the 5G and why we are using the 5G in our daily life, and we have given one example of the vehicular ad hoc network. Now, this is the intelligent transportation system. Intelligent transportation system is the high interest of the company, government, and academia and the researcher also, because it implement many applications related to the vehicle traffic, drivers, passengers, and pedestrian. So now, without delay, we are coming on the VANET. VANET is the vehicular ad hoc area network. First of all, why we are discussing this term like the smart transportation, VANET, and further we will discuss about the IOV. It's helpful for our smart transportation. So the VANET means what? We have needed the recent advancement in hardware, software, communication technology are enabling the design and implementation of a whole range of different type of network that are being deployed in various environment. And one such network is called the vehicular ad hoc network. So I am coming on the point that the what is the vehicular ad hoc network means we are communicating the vehicle. Okay, and we are providing the vehicle to vehicle communication, vehicle to RSU communication. Okay, and as we discussed that the vehicle move faster on the highway rather than the intersection road environment, and thus robust system is required to communicate efficiently and securely. And for this purpose, we have needed the 5G. Now, I am coming on the point of IOV. Okay, but before the IOV, I just want to show you that this type of communication in the smart city, like the V2G means the vehicle to ground, vehicle to not ground, vehicle to grid. We can say the vehicle to ground, but here we have used the term the vehicle to grid, vehicle to vehicle, vehicle to home, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to roadside unit, okay, and vehicle to building. There's a difference between the vehicle to home and vehicle to building, because here we are using the bigger network, and the vehicle to home, it's a small network, so it's a different. Okay, now I am coming on the point of the IOV means anyone, I just want to ask that, have you heard about the term IoT means the Internet of Things? Anyone? Anyone have heard about the IoT, Internet of Things? No. See, Internet of Things means we are connecting the things, okay, through the internet. Things means what? Things means object. Object means what? Object means the device. Okay, device means what? For example, we are saying that the sensors are sensing the data. What is this sensor? Sensor is one device which sense the data. Like we are saying that we have a smoke detector sensor. We have numerous sensors. We are saying that these are the sensors which sense the informations. Okay, and if we are connecting these devices to the internet, we can say that the IoT. Now we are discussing the term the IOV. IOV means what? The IOV is the communication between, means IOV is the combination of the IoT and the VANET. As we have seen the VANET is the vehicular ad hoc area network, and the IoT is the Internet of Things. And when we are combining these two terms, we can say that it is the IOV. And IOV play a very important role for the smart transportation. And we can say that in the smart cities application. So here you can see that evolution of vehicular communication from banded to IOV. In 2000, we were in the inception of banded. Then in from 2005 to 2010, the research area in banded has increased. Now from 10 to 15, standardization of banded has increased. From 2020 onwards, we have been working on the inception of IOV, means the generation of IOV, and after 2025 the issue of IOV and standardization will increase. Okay, so this is the what is the IOV. IOV is the main aim of IOV is to achieve the higher transportation, means the intelligent transportation in the more robust way, where we can manage the traffic, where we can manage the accident, where we can manage the road safety, and we can improve the driving experience also. So here the internet of vehicle, and it provide the communication between V to V, as you can see in the this slide. V to RSU means vehicle to RSU, roadside unit, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to pedestrian, and vehicle to sensor. Okay, now I am coming on one point, that the again, because I have asked you that what are the current security challenges of the 5G, and as we discussed that the centralized architecture, and here also you can see that there is a centralized architecture. Actually, we will discuss about the blockchain because it's a decentralized architecture. The benefit, first we are discussing about the 5G, what is the role of 5G here, and what are the advantage and disadvantage in the 5G, so that we are going for a blockchain. Because as you can ask me that the nowadays or the earlier days, people were working on the means the 4G, 3G, and nowadays also the people are working on the 5G. Then why we are going for the blockchain type of technology? Because when we will discuss about the blockchain, you can ask me that this is the complex architecture or the simple architecture. Then why any architecture means will be implemented in the 5G? Why we will put the extra technology in the 5G? That's why we are discussing the few points that the why we are adding the more technology with the 5G. Okay, so my point is that what is the importance of security in the 5G? Means that because we have discussed about the security challenges, why we have needed the security? Anyone please tell me why we have needed security? I am not asking about the 5G. I am not asking about the 4G, and I am not asking about the blockchain. I just want to know that why we have needed the security. Anyone in a normal, in a day, normal life, in a social life, why we have needed the security? Like for example, I am moving from point H to point Z. Okay, from my vehicle. Why we have needed the security? This is the social answer. Anyone can please tell me? Am I audible?
Yes, sir. Maybe because like just to maintain the privacy of a person.
See, privacy is the other things. I am asking about the security. We will discuss about privacy also. Security means, see, for example, nowadays in India, uh, means we are discussing about the autonomous vehicle. Have you heard this term, autonomous vehicle? Means the driverless vehicle. Definitely you have heard, because you are the means you are in the technological area, so definitely you have heard about the autonomous vehicle. Or you have seen the car is talking to other car, means this is the vehicle to vehicle communication. We have needed security in the sense, for example, here you can see uh, here one pedestrian is crossing the path. Here you can see the vehicle to infrastructure communication, vehicle to roadside communication, vehicle to vehicle communication. See, for example, this this is the vehicle to vehicle communication, or here you can see that vehicle to vehicle communication. Is my cursor is visible?
Yes, sir, it is visible.
See, the vehicles to vehicle communication, and these vehicles are moving from point X to point Y or point Z anywhere. See, I am telling that this red vehicle, it is looking like a car. This car has some important information, and it wants to communicate with other vehicle. That something happened in the past, or 500 meters back. There were some accidents, or there were some problem. First of all, you can ask me that this red vehicle, why this red vehicle communicate information to this bus or to the other vehicle? You can ask me that why we have needed to communicate the information. I will not communicate the information. I am a vehicle traveler. I am driving my car, but I will not communicate information because I have no benefit. I have seen the accident. Why I will pass the information? For example, in the daily life also, when we are, if I am a student, I am knowing some information. I have read some topics, and after that, if I will not communicate this topic to my friend, that because I am thinking that why I will communicate to this, because I have no means I am thinking that I have no benefit. Then you can ask me that what are the benefit of this vehicle traveler to communicate this information? Yes. So there is no benefit because he has spent few hours in the traffic, or he has seen some accidents, or he has seen that the road condition is not good, and he may think that I have suffered, and then okay, people will also suffer. Why I will pass the information to the other vehicular traveler or other vehicle? Why I will pass my automation? I will stop my automation system. Why I will pass the information to other guys that there are some problem in the traffic, there are some accident there. Why I will pass? Here, the role of blockchain will come. Then you can ask me, what is the role of blockchain here? In the blockchain, there are one mechanism which we are saying that the incentive mechanism, or you have heard about the cryptocurrency, or there are a number of currencies that the Ethercoin, Litecoin, Bitcoin, the cryptocurrency, digital wallet. So here, if my system, like the smart transportation system or smart cities, announced that in this area, for example, from Delhi to Jaipur, it's a long way, means long route, but I am assuming that in India, if it will announce that from Delhi to Jaipur, if some driver or some vehicle will give an important information, then they will must be incentivized, means they will get some reward. Okay, but in the 5G, when we are saying that the 5G communication, 5G, the role of 5G is to communicate information, but not distribute, or 5G has not a role to communicate the money, or 5G can't reward. 5G is just a information forwarder, means we are using the 5G to communicate smoothly, but not for a rewarding purpose or awarding purpose or for incentivizing. Here we have needed the blockchain concept, and we will use the digital wallet, because we are giving the information that if you are moving from Delhi to Jaipur, and if you will provide some important information through your vehicle, through automation system, you will be incentivized. And what are the incentive? In incentive, you will get some amount of cryptocurrency, means the 0.0002. It my assumption. Then definitely when you will move from Delhi to Jaipur, and if you will see some problem in the road, definitely you will communicate the information. Okay, so again, the role of blockchain is here. So we will discuss all these terms. And now my point is that what are the advantages of blockchain in the 5G? Okay, so just we discussed that the incentivized purpose, decentralization, removal of third-party involvement, okay, improving quality of service, means immutability, means the information will not change. And you can see that when all these advantages will be implemented, then definitely we can say that the 5G is providing more benefit compared to traditional 5G. Means the 5G with blockchain will provide more benefit compared to traditional 5G. So any doubt, please ask. Anyone have any doubt till this point? What is the smart transportation, what is the planet, IOV, and what is the role of 5G in the IOV, why we have needed why we have needed the blockchain for 5G. Anyone have any doubt or any point you want to know? Anyone, please ask. Okay, so I assume that all of you have got this point. Okay, here you can see that this is the range of means this is the communication way, like the vehicle to vehicle. Normally we use the 802.11p, vehicle to roadside unit, also vehicle to infrastructure 4G LTE. Okay, now this is these all are the benefits of a universal IOV. Now the market opportunity, obviously the companies means in the IOV, the companies are offering a lot of things that like uh, the car company like the Ford or the BMW, they want to implement the IOV in their machine, their system, and the IT equipment manufacturer also. Means actually IOV is not simply that we can say that the vehicle or the Internet of Things, means it's the combination of these two. Then you can ask me one point that we have been discussing about that now IOV, but how the vehicle communicate with other vehicle? Means we have discussed that the vehicle to vehicle communication, vehicle to RSU communication, but how they are communicating? Is there machine? Is there any board available? Is there any chip available? Is there any sensor available? See, actually, every vehicle which want to communicate with other vehicle, they have inbuilt OBU, on board unit. Okay, and what is this OBU? OBU inserted with your vehicle, and this is the very small device, and it takes the information, it communicate information, means, and it will work automatically. Okay, so this is the role of the OBU. And now this is the 5G. 5G play an important role for the communication. Now I am coming on the point that below the 5G, below the blockchain, means before blockchain. Because you can ask me that nowadays we are discussing about the blockchain and the 5G, but vehicle to vehicle communication has been happening before a decade. Means from one decade the vehicle is communicating with the other vehicle, then and they have not implemented the blockchain. Then how they are working? Then our network security is coming an important role. And as you have seen that means the properties of network security is the confidentiality, authentication, message integrity, access and availability. And as you can see, this the security and performance trade-off. So before this, then what is how the security play an important role and how the information is communicated? So this picture is telling a lot of information. Here Alice and Bob, there are two users and they want to communicate with each other. And they have some very confidential information they want to communicate. And they will just send the hi, means the message hi. But obviously, if they will send directly the hi, there are lot of intruder or there are a lot of adversary. Means I can say that the Mallory, he is the common friend of both Alice and Bob, and he's very curious to the what Alice want. Alice send a message to Bob, and simply I can say that he is an adversary because he want to see that what are the information passed by the Alice to Bob. So he will just, when the Alice send the information to Bob, he will just uh, uh, check the message that what are the information is being transmitted. Okay, and definitely he will get the information because the information is in the plain text. The meaning of plain text is as it is. If I am writing that the hi, then anyone can see that the hi hi. So this is the plain text. Means simple, whatever sentences we have written. Like for example, how do we design cipher? I can say it is a plain text. Means a simple, user understandable sentence. So Mallory can see that this message. Okay. Now Alice and Bob plan that okay, please don't directly send hi. Kindly change the message, like send hi, but please encrypt it. Encrypt means kindly format the message, means change the message scenario. For example, in the code word, please don't say directly, say send in the code word. Okay, like for example, for how, kindly use 1, for do kindly use 2, for we kindly use 3, for design 4, and cipher for 5. Means we are just assuming there are a lot of method for the change the from the plain text to cipher text. Cipher text means the encrypted message, so that no one can guess that the what information is communicated. I am simply telling you one simple example. Normally in a movie we are seeing that if one friend is calling to a other friend, for example, the Bob is calling to Alice, and Alice is at her home, and she is with her mom and dad. So when Bob is calling to Alice, Alice not say hi. Alice said that okay, where is your courier? So okay, I am coming on the gate, and then I will take the parcel. And or simply say that okay, no, I have not required the bank facilities. So simply Bob will guess that okay, Alice is not alone, Alice is with her mom and dad. Okay, so this is one type of simple encryption which we have been seeing in the movie or in our daily life also. Means for example, your father is telling to kindly read the a book, or means like please continue your study, and your friend is calling at that time. So definitely you think that your father will angry, so you simply say that no, dad, my friend is not calling, one bank was calling and it is the customer care number, so this is not, and you simply put your phone. This is one type of encryption. Means you are converting your communication in the other way. So earlier or nowadays also, the computer security is play, means the network security play an important role for the communication. Means the communication between vehicle to vehicle, or vehicle to roadside unit, vehicle to infrastructure, vehicle to everything. Just like here, Alice and Bob, means the user to user. Okay, so in the security, our focus is that we will not simply send a message like a hi, where are you? I am fine. What are you doing? No, I will send in the encrypted way. Encrypted means we are converting the plain text to a cipher text. Plain text means the simple sentence, user understandable sentence, and ciphertext means user can't understand that text. Okay, because our communication link, because our communication from sender to receiver are the untrusted communication. Untrusted means we have not trust. For example, earlier what was happening? Earlier means before 5 decades or 4 decades, the king means the people we are using some messenger to communicate the message from source to destination, and definitely they were thinking that the messenger may read our message, so they were use the some code word, means the encrypted word, so that means so that messenger can't read the message, or if the messenger is trustable, definitely it may be that the messenger means the some other enemy king will caught the messenger, and definitely they can take a message. So for that effort, the people were use the means the king were use the encrypted message, the ciphertext. So our purpose is here that the message which is converted from plain text to ciphertext is the process of the encryption. Means when we are saying that we are encrypting the message, it means what? We are converting the message from plain text to ciphertext. And when we are converting the ciphertext to plain text, it is called the decryption. So here you can see that the Alice wants to send a message to a Bob. So she has used the attack at dawn, means it is one message she wants to communicate. Then definitely she will encrypt it, and this is the ciphertext, so that Mallory can't guess that what she want to send. And attack has some key, means because the Alice has used one key for encryption, and Bob has used that key for decryption, or Bob can use the other key for encryption. Means it depends on our key cryptography, like the public key cryptography. Okay, so it depends on the cryptography mechanism. Bob will decrypt the message and get the message the attacker down. Okay, so what are the goal of this design? Obviously, that the goal of this design is to no one can guess our encrypted message. Means whatever plain text, means whatever encrypted text we want to communicate, no any intruder or adversary can guess that information. And for this purpose, we have needed the very good cryptographic techniques. And why we are discussing this point? Because we want to communicate from one user to other user. Okay, so the goal of cryptography is the secrecy and authenticity. So here secrecy means our security, and the authenticity means what? Authenticity means the authenticated user has sent the information or not. Now I am coming on the point of blockchain. Okay, so I just want to know that have you got the idea that why we have needed the 5G and what are the important parameter play a role in the 5G communication? Anyone? Please discuss about this. Means not discuss, means please tell me any doubt. Anyone? Am I audible? Please respond, anyone.
Yes, sir, you're audible. Audible. Go ahead.
Okay. So as you can see that we have discussed about that the benefit of 5G. Now our point is that blockchain for 5G, means our focus on this discussion is that why blockchain is required for 5G. So here, is it any break for few minutes? I think I've got the message that there are some break for few minutes, like the 20 minutes or 30 minutes, or can we continue?
Yes, sir. You can take 10 minutes break, or if you need more, you can extend till
No,
after.
no, no, I have not required more. We can
Okay.
continue from this point also. So if you have not problem, then we can continue. Or if you have needed break, then we can break for 10 minutes.
I think I can give some 10 minutes break, sir.
Okay, so we will join at 7 o'clock.
Yes. 7 o'clock? Yes, sir. 7 o'clock.
Is it fine? So 7
No,
p.m. start.
just break. Samat or Ravi?
Sir, 6:50 we can join.
6:50. Okay.
What?
6:50, sir.
Uh, Subham, what you want to say?
Sir, 6:50 we can join. 10 minutes break would be okay, sir, I guess.
Okay, okay then. So till we have discussed about the 5G, and now that the one application, its name is the smart transportation, and because our theme of this topic is the blockchain for 5G in the smart cities. So there is one application of smart cities is the smart transportation, and we were discussing about the 5G. We have not yet touched about the blockchain. So actually, the advantage of 5G, which we have discussed, that its target to support diverse vertical application by connecting heterogeneous devices. What are the heterogeneous devices? We have seen that the vehicle, RSU, infrastructure, or in the hospital, we can say that the patient and the doctor, hospital, or we can say that the provider high quality of services, increased network capacity. After that, the enhanced system throughput. System throughput means the how many informations has been executed per second or per millisecond, etc. These are the advantage of the 5G, but 5G has still some security challenges, as we have discussed, that the centralization, transparency, risk of data interoperability, network privacy and organization. Okay, so for all these benefit, we will discuss about that the blockchain. Then you can simply ask me that uh, why we have needed the blockchain for this. Can we not move from the why we have required the moving from the traditional environment to the decentralized environment? So as we discussed that the centralized architecture, there is only one user, or the centralized matlab means that the trusted third party we have needed, or we have needed the single server, that is the high speed server, but it is a single server, and if any failure will happen, then definitely there will be some problem. So as you have seen that the definition of the blockchain, so exactly blockchain has started in 2008. See, normally the we had a start in a blockchain for the cryptocurrency concept, like the Bitcoin. As you have heard this term, the Bitcoin. Bitcoin is one type of cryptocurrency, and simply the application of blockchain is the Bitcoin. In 2008, one researcher, its name is the Satoshi Nakamoto, who has invented the decentralized architecture, and they developed that the Bitcoin concept. But nowadays, we have not limited our concept to the Bitcoin blockchain only. We have converted the blockchain into the different types, like the public blockchain, private blockchain. Okay, and we, according to the blockchain, we have converted our format also, like in the where we can use the public blockchain, where we can use the private blockchain. Why we have needed the private blockchain here, why we have needed the public blockchain in particular application. So we need to change our means we need to change the requirement of blockchain based on our demand. Okay, so the main thing is that because the discussion will continue, but our main focus is the blockchain for 5G. So my main point is that what are the advantages of blockchain over the traditional technique for supporting 5G? So simply you can say that the decentralization, limitation of third-party involvement, means removal of third-party involvement, automatic network management. Okay, and how is the current blockchain 5G research progress? So simply we can say that the potential of blockchain in 5G network has been developed recently, and most falling into the three domain, including blockchain for 5G technology, blockchain for 5G services, and blockchain for 5G IoT. Okay, so now I am coming on the basic definition of the blockchain. And the blockchain simply say that it's a technology, it's a peer-to-peer network, and blockchain support the decentralizations. Means the so now I am coming on that. What is the meaning of exactly blockchain? So as you know the meaning of chain, and here the blockchain means the collection of transactions. Simply, blockchain means block means a simple container. I am just telling one example. What is the block? Block means there are some collection of information which has been stored in one box or in one container. So here we can assume that the block is a simply a container, and depends on the capacity of block, we will store the transaction. Transactions means the sequence of information. Okay, so and what is the chain? So chain means when the blocks are connecting with each other, like the previous block is connecting to the current block will connect to the next block will connect to the next block. So this is one type of chain. Once the previous to present, means past to present, present to future. This is one type of chain. So that's why it is called the blockchain. Means when we are means we are connecting a block in a chain, then it is called a blockchain. So initially, blockchain concept was invented for the digital currency, means the cryptocurrency, and that currency is called the Bitcoin. But nowadays the blockchain has changed, and in the Bitcoin we are using the public blockchains. Means anyone can access, anyone can participate in this public domain, and they can perform some computation, and if they will win it, then they can generate the block. Okay, and the generator of block is called a miner. Okay, I am coming on the figure, otherwise we will get some confused and we will return back. See here the concept of blockchain operation. So means the computer request transaction. Transaction is nothing but useful information. As you have heard this term transaction in the bank, there is a transaction. So simply you can assume that that transaction also. So this is one information. The transaction is broadcasted to all node in the peer-to-peer network. Means these networks is communicated from one peer to other, means peer-to-peer network. Then network of node validate the transaction using public key cryptography, and then verify transactions. The transactions is linked to other transactions and create a new data block. And then here you can see that the new block is appended to the old block, and the transaction is complete. See what are the meaning of this figure? The meaning of this figure is, if I am a user or you are a user, you simply want to create one transaction. Okay, here the discussion is based on the public blockchain, means for the cryptocurrency, means the for the Bitcoin, means any application of public blockchain. Okay, and we can't say that the in particular application, means in some application, like in the voting application, in the banking application, we can't use the public blockchain. In banking application also, somewhere we are using the public blockchain, but it's a rare case, exceptional case. So that application is a private blockchain, but here we are using the public blockchain. So anyone can enter in this network. So for example, you are a user and you want to generate some transaction. You want to send some transactions in the block. Here we are discussing about the block only. In the upper level, we will discuss the block appending concept. So what you will do? You will simply send one information that this is the particular transactions. Okay. So what will happen? It will goes to the network, and in the network, all nodes will validate your transactions using here the terms is the public key cryptography, but any key cryptography we can use. Okay, so simply I am telling you, like for example, you are sending one letter to someone. A letter means that if you are working in the office and your head is means the organization is promoting you. So in your means your office assistant is telling that, sir, you have promoted, and chairman sir was telling that the you are now the from team leader to you are the senior project manager. But how you will believe that now you will be a senior project manager? So there means you have seen that the in your college also or in the office also, uh, people are issuing some notice like the some letter that the chairman is issuing letter that the particular like Mr. Subham is promoting from the team leader to the project manager, and they will just simply write this sentence in the letter with some formalities that it's a warm welcome to Mr. Subham, etc. But again, we will not believe on this letter because this letter is not authenticating that this letter has been coming from your chairman. Maybe people are making you a fool. It may be that the office assistant is telling you a wrong word and simply they print on the letter pad that this, because if the chairman's signature is not available on this letter. If the signature is available, and I am hoping that this signature is not fake signature, then you can say that okay, no, it's fine, it's not false news, it's true news that I have been promoted. So here the term I have used the signature means the signature is authenticating that the particular letter has been coming from the chairman. Okay, so in future, if you will get any trouble that simply in a blockchain, this meaning is a non-repudiation, that if in future the chairman will ignore that, no, I have not promoted you. Who informed you that I have promoted you? Then you can simply show him a letter with his or her signature. It means what? The signature is verifying that letter, and you have that proof. And chairman will obey that the okay. Chairman will agree that the okay, no, definitely he or she has promoted you. Okay. So here also I am using the simple term that I am sending some transaction with my signature. Here the signature concept is coming from the public key and private key. Public key will known to all. For example, my name is knowing to all, or I am knowing your name. But the private key is that my secret key. For example, that you are using, if you are using the net banking, then your ID may be known to all fellow, but your password is not known to all. Means simply you know, you only know. So the private key and public key, the public key is known to all, private key is with you. So you sign your letter with your private key, means you just simply put your signature with your private key, because all people are knowing, so they can authenticate your letter with your public key. So this is the verified transactions, and the verified transactions is linked to other transactions, like the first transaction is linked to the second, second is to third, third is to fourth, and it will be stored in the block. And now the block is attaching with the other block, means from past, present, future, and so. And the first block is called the Genesis block in the blockchain. Any doubt till this point? Anyone? Please tell me. Any doubt? Because this is the new term, so it may be. I am hoping that the lot of questions are coming in your mind. Anyone? Simply ask, means if you want to know anything, you can put in a chat also, or you can simply ask to me also. Okay. So we are moving further. So now this is the definition of the blockchain. And in the blockchain, there is one term, means there are few terms which is very highlighted terms, that the first, the type of blockchain, the public and the private. The public blockchain is called the permissionless blockchain, means you have not required a permission to join the blockchain network. But the private, you have needed the permission. For example, in the voting system, you have needed the permission to enter the book, to cast the vote. In the smart transportation also, you have needed some authentication, means you have needed some registration your vehicle, so that you can enter in the network. There are few limitation of both type of blockchain. And the second thing is means the what are the limitation in the public? We have needed the more computation, but the throughput is less in the public blockchain. In the private blockchain, we have needed the what we have needed the less computation, but it is not fully decentralized. Private has some concept of the centralized also. So the pros and cons are in the different types of blockchain. The one term is the miner who is generating the block. Consensus means all nodes are agreeing, all untrusted nodes are agreeing on the same term. For example, in industry, a lot of industries are working together, means they are working on few terms, but they are not trusting on each other. And the best known public blockchain application include Bitcoin and Ethereum. In the private blockchain, like the network managed by the central cities, means central entity, you can simply say the private blockchain, one application is the online voting or the asset transfer. These are the application of the public blockchain. So our point is that the how blockchain can bring opportunities to the 5G network. Okay, so before this is the block architecture, that the block contains the block header and the number of transactions in the body part of the block. So I'm not spending more times on this block. I'm coming on the point that the why blockchain is needed to the 5G networks. But before this, I just want to know simply that are you getting these ideas that what is the blockchain? So blockchain is simply that the chain of blocks where the block is storing the information, means the blocks contains the collection of transactions, and the block has the two part, the block head and the block body. The block body contains the information and the block header contains the previous hash. Nonce is the random value, timestamp is the which time the block has generated, and the Merkle root means what? Here you can see that this is one transaction and this is the another transactions. So block contains the number of transactions. So this is the hash 1 is the hash of the transaction 1, and hash 2 is the transaction hash 2 is the hash of the transactions 2. Before this hash term, I just want to know, do you know that what is the hash? Anyone? Yes or no? Please tell me so that I will elaborate briefly that what is the hashing. And it's a very important term in the blockchain. Anyone? Please tell me. Do you know what is the term hash? Anyone? Either yes or no? Okay. See, actually, what is the meaning of hashing? See, hash is a computation function. Function means what? For example, you have a lot of messages or things. For example, you want to communicate information, but the information size is too more or too less. Okay, in a less, we are not thinking about that the less, because with the less, obviously it takes the less bandwidth. But for the high, so for the high informations, means for the long informations, what we will do? For the long informations, either we will split that information in the different part, or we will use some parameters to compress the information. Okay, compressing, as you know, that we are compressing the information, is we are reducing the size of the information. So hash means what? The hash means there are different type of hash function. Okay, hash means we are converting our message into a some fixed size word, means fixed size format. For example, blockchain is using 256-bit hash. It means what? Bit means our simple bit, means the one particular digit, and the byte means the size of byte is 8-bit. Okay, so size of the hash in the blockchain is the 256-bit, or simply we can say that the 32 byte. Okay, so here the role of hash is to convert the transaction into the hash form. It means what? In the 256 bit. Okay, and this output is called the message digest. Okay, please focus on this point, because the hashing is the very important function in the blockchain. Okay, and the hashing play a major role nowadays for the communication. So please listen this point very carefully. See, as we discussed that the block is a collection of transaction. But you can ask me that we have discussed about the lot of security problem. Then how we can simply communicate this information? Then I can tell you that no, I can encrypt this information. Then you can simply say me that nowadays the message is in a terabyte. So you will simply convert this terabyte into the encrypted form, and then at that time decrypt. So the lot of computation we have required. Again, I can tell you, yes, you are right. So for this purpose, we are using the hashing mechanism. Hashing mechanism convert the message size into a 256 bit. And then you can tell me that if the block is containing 100 transactions, then we have needed 3200 byte for one block. I can tell yes. And you can tell me that the 3200 byte, it means what? It's a good size. And for block communication, we have needed this type of size communications we have required. I can say yes. Then you can say that it's a very big problem, because the higher size data will be communicated. So we have needed more computation, extra bandwidth we have needed. Yes. So what is the problem? The problem is like, again, the concept of Merkle tree, Merkle root is generated, and it is called a Merkle tree. The tree is like we will discuss. We are discussing here. Then I can tell you no. Block. If a block contains 100 transactions and each transaction is hashed, then I can't simply say that and if each transaction size is 32 byte, means the 256 bit of each transactions, then we have not needed a 3200 byte for one block. and apart from this 3200 byte, we have the block header part also. So we have not required that much size. Then you can ask me that how? Okay, now I am coming on the point that here what is happening. First, the transaction, and nowadays you can simply surprise that the Bitcoin block is containing 3000 to 4000 transactions in one block. So you can assume that if I will not use the hash, then what is the size of the block? And then you can assume that if I am using hash for every transactions, and we will simply put that size in that block, then you can assume that the 4000 into the 32 byte, what will the size of that block? Okay, so the removal of these problems, the concept of Merkle tree is in the picture. So what Merkle tree do? Merkle tree do that if there are 4000 transactions, then it will simply calculate the hash of each transactions, like hash 1, hash 2, hash 3, hash 4, and so on till 4000. Okay, now each transaction has been converted into the one hash. Okay, now it will concatenate the two hash. Like here you can see in the picture that the transaction 1 and transaction 2 is communicated, means converted into hash 1 and hash 2, and now hash 1 and hash 2 has been concatenated, and it's simply the hash 1 2. Means concatenating means what? Here we are doing, or simply I can tell you that because if you are knowing about the XOR operation, JOR operation, I hope you are knowing that the XOR operation, simply what we are doing there, like the 110 and 000 or simply we are doing the AND operation, what will happen? 010 or operation 011. Okay, so my purpose is here that the AND or that what we are doing, for example in the AND, that the 111 and 10, for example we have a 2 bit like 1 and 0. I am assuming that this hash 1 is 1 and this hash 2 is 0, and we are performing the AND operation. So 1 and 0, what will happen? 0. My purpose is to telling here is that if I am performing some operation is just 2 bit and the bit size is 1 bit, again the result will also in the 1 bit. So here between hash 1 and hash 2 we will perform an operation like XOR operation, means JOR operation, and the hash 1 2 value is again 256 bit. Are you getting my point? Again hash 3 and hash 4, it simply come from the transaction 3 and transaction 4, and we will combine it, means we will concatenate with either any operation like the XOR operation, and we are making it the hash 3 and hash 4, and so on will perform for each transactions, and we are combining these two till it will be a single value. So I am just simply asking you, and I hope you will reply this answer, that what is the size of this Merkle root? Please tell me, anyone. Then I will think that I have convey the Merkle root or Merkle tree to you. What is the size of Merkle root here? Each transaction size is 256 bit. Then what is the size of Merkle root? Anyone, please tell me. Anyone? See here. See, for transactions, this is the pardon? Hello? your voice is not louder. Please tell me.
32 bytes, sir.
Yes, it's right. It doesn't depend on the how many transactions we are using in our block. Simple calculation. The concatenation, and it is converted into the single 256 bit, means 32 byte. Okay, and this process is called the Merkle-tree, and it's very important. Means we can say that it's the main component of the blockchain. Okay, means there are some components so that the blockchain is very popular, and it is one component. Okay, so now this is the distributed ledger. Okay, a distributed ledger consensus algorithm, a smart contract. I am briefing you this comes in the minute, so that I am coming on the main point. See, the distributed ledger means what? See, actually, we have discussed about the 5G has the centralized architecture. It has not a decentralized architecture. So that is the problem. Because if the single node, if the because the client server architecture is the centralized architecture, that's why I have taken the example of the client server. So if the server will fail, then definitely it will be a problem. Normally in the banking system, you have heard about in the rural area that today the link is fail. Why? Because one central server is not working, so that all nodes will fail. Or if not only one central server, if they are using the four server and four server and the server has down, so definitely the link is not working. So that's the problem. So in a 5G also this type of problem. So removal of this, we are using the decentralized architecture. So what will happen in the decentralized architecture? See here in this figure, the 4 CPU you are seeing here, they are the 4 CPU. Okay, so in the centralized architecture, see, although it is not a middle point is not a server, but I am assuming that it is a server. So what will happen? So the communication from this CPU to here, from this CPU to this point, this CPU to this point, this CPU to this point. And unfortunately, if this system will fail, I hope my cursor is visible to all. If this system will fail, the communication will shut down. Okay. Okay. So what we will do? Can we make one architecture? And one more thing, that the all information has been stored on this centralized architecture. Normally we are seeing that in the client server architecture, that the client have required information, they simply send the request to the server. So it means what? Server has good storage capacity also to store all information, so that they can satisfy the requirement of the client. Okay. Now this system has failed. Obviously, the communication will go down, shut down. So what we are doing here in the blockchain, what we are doing, you can see the circle. It means what? All nodes has communicated with each other, and all nodes stores the informations, the same information. So what will happen if this single node will fail? Again, I can say it's a fault tolerant. Fault tolerance means what? If one system will fail, two system will fail, again the system will be communicated with each other. There is no disruption of the communications. So that's why nowadays the banking system has been focusing on the blockchain. And if the blockchain will be fully implemented in the banking system, then definitely you will never get the complaint of the link failure. Why? Because there's no dependability on the centralized architecture. The dependability of the distributed architecture means anyone is all are the king. Means, for example, we are communicating with each other, you have heard about the peer discussion before the examination of, means day before the examination, we are discussing with each other, means the peer communication. There is no teacher, but all will be passed tomorrow. How? Because we are communicating in a decentralized way, in a distributed way. The difference between decentralized and distributed is that in a decentralized, all nodes is not functioning, but more than one nodes are executing the terms, and the distributed, all nodes are functioning. All nodes is responsible to execute your responses. So definitely day before examination, we are in the distributed environment. Every student has some role, and they are communicating to each other that okay, you are knowing this topic, okay, kindly tell me, and I will tell you this time. And all will be a means the top point, top graded. How? Because they are following the peer study. So means they are not depending on the teacher, means they are not depending on the centralized architecture. They are working in the decentralized mode. If some students are not knowing anything, for example, in the classroom, if teacher is not knowing anything, then definitely the class will shut down, because class will off, because obviously the teacher is not explaining anything, or if the teacher is ill, definitely the class will off. But here, there means the class will not shut down, class will not off, because they are working as a distributed way, decentralized way. Okay, so they are following the distributed ledger environment, means all nodes are storing the information. So definitely, if one node will fail, they will not affected on the network. The second thing is the consensus algorithm. Consensus algorithm means that, for example, I am telling you that in your student life, you have seen that there are some very close friend, and means if the class capacity is the 100, some of you are very close friends, some of you are friend, and some of you means someone is your enemy also, means enemy is the wrong sense, but your communication is not good with him or her. Okay, so this type of environment we have been seeing in our classroom. So what? So how we are a close friend? It means what? Our means what? What I can say means our thought is matching. For example, if means if you are a very hard, means you are a hard worker student, means you are the laborious student. So second one is also laborious, means he is also studying more. So definitely you will be a friend, means you are communicating with each other and you are a friend. And a third one is also friend. It means what? You are agreeing on the same term. You are agreeing on one term, that he is a good student, I am a good student, means he is studying more, I am studying more, and someone is also studying more. So we will be a friend, because if we will combine some term, that definitely we will be get a good grade, means the top grade. Okay, so here is some agreement for the communication. Some friendship is like I am not telling you use the general friendship. I am telling you the human psychological friendship in our classroom, in our engineering, or in any classroom. That the means if we are agreeing on some term, that we will be a friend. So here also in the public blockchain, they are using the consensus mechanism. It's called is the proof of work, proof of stake. Means it means what? It means that there are some agreement. So what is the agreement? So in the public blockchain, as I am telling you the example of Bitcoin, that the agreement is that if any system will solve a particular challenge, that it will be a winner, or winner means it will be a miner, and all nodes agree on this. In an election system also, you have seen that if the fellow will get a major vote, then definitely that people is a winner. So here also, so this is the consensus mechanism in the proof of stake. What is this? If the people have a more stack, if the node has more stack, then it will be a minor. In the private blockchain, normally we are using the improvised PBFT consensus, practical Byzantine fault tolerance. Here, that the node will agree on some term. So for that, I am coming on the smart contract. A smart contract is simply a contract which we have been listening in our daily life. A smart contract means it's a contract, it's a sequence of codes on which we have been agreeing. For example, you have seen that the if else in the C language, that if this will happen, then the particular instructions will execute. So this is one term. So, and this is one contract. For example, if you have heard about some company contract that you have to complete the target, and if you will complete the target within a month, then you will be incentivized on means this amount, and if you will not complete this target in 1 month, you will complete in the 2 months, then you will incentivized on this term. Means this is the types of contract. In the blockchain also, lot of nodes will communicate, and they will simply agree on some contract, means some code, that if any node will satisfy this code, they will be joined in the blockchain. Okay, so this is the main concept, and this is the characteristics of the blockchain. Now I am coming on the now the what are the characteristics of blockchain, so that we are implementing in the 5G network. Okay, so the characteristics of blockchain is the decentralization, immutability, transparency, security and privacy are useful for 5G network and services. So I am simply telling you that if data is, or I am coming through a PPT also, so that you will get easily. So here the definition of the decentralization, as we discussed, that there is no central authority, or we are not depending on the trusted third party needed to perform transactions, needed to communicate the transactions, or user have full control on their own data. For example, here if you want to communicate with, if we have needed some information, I have access to all information. Okay, I have access to full information. Okay, so this is the concept of decentralization. And now, so in the 5G potential application of 5G network, so it's eliminate the need of trusted external authorities in 5G ecosystem, that is a spectrum license, band manager, database manager in a spectrum management, central cloud as service manager in the mobile computing and device to device network, unmanned aerial vehicle, simply called a drone control center in the 5G UAV network, and complex cryptography primitive in 5G IoT system. So here, what is the meaning of this? It means what? That each node, this is communicating through a 5G network, they have the sufficient information so that there is no fault. Means, for example, why I am discussing here decentralization in the 5G. For example, if one user is communicating with the other user, if one user is communicating with the other user, or for some information, like one user is requesting to other user for some information, and that user will fail, and user is not providing due to any reason, not providing information, so we can say that there is some fault. But if you have a particular information, okay, like you have a sufficient bandwidth, you have a spectrum license, you are a data manager in a spectrum management, okay, so what will happen? You have sufficient information, so you can communicate with each other through a sufficient information. So for example, if user 1, 2 and 3 we are assuming one scenario where user 1, 2, and 3 all are communicating with each other, and user 1 and 3 depends on the user 2, and user 2 will fail, then definitely user 1 and 3 will not get any information. But here, because you have a sufficient bandwidth manager, you have a database manager, you have a spectrum license, then definitely there is no need to send and request to the user 2. You are sufficient. So this is the concept of the centralized architecture. So decentralizing 5G network potentially eliminate single point failure, ensure data availability, and enhance service delivery efficiency. I hope you have got this point. The one term decentralization in the 5G network and services. Now the immutability. And see, these all features are the blockchain features, and we are integrating the blockchain for 5G in the smart cities. Or for the smart cities, we have needed the information. And for the fast communication, we are using the 5G here, and for the decentralization, for immutability, transparency, we are using the blockchain here. Okay, so in the immutability means what? It is very difficult to modify or change the data recorded in the blockchain. So I am simply asking you that how the blockchain is supporting the immutability feature, as we have seen here, as we have discussed. Anyone, can you please tell me how blockchain is supporting the immutability features? I'm not asking regarding the 5G. I am asking regarding the simple term, immutability. Immutability means we can't change the information. So how blockchain is supporting the immutability? Anyone? See, actually, we have discussed here that this figure can tell you that what is the immutability. I am simply telling you that we can't change the information. Give me only 1 second. Yeah. So I am telling that the blockchain is supporting the immutability. So immutability means that no one can change the data. So here, how the blockchain supports immutability? So here you can see that the block K information is stored in the block K plus 1 header. How it has been possible? Because this is the previous hash component. The previous hash contains the. Anyone have any doubt? Or anyone wants to say something? Okay, no. So previous hash means that the previous block has. It means what? The one block has been prepared based on this all information, like a Merkle root, timestamp, knowns, previous hash. Previous hash means here block K minus 1. So all block has been prepared here, and now we will again perform the hash function here, and we put this hash value in this block header. Again, this block hash value in block K plus 2, and block K plus 2 in block K plus 3. So, and so on, we are communicating the chain. We are creating a chain. So, are you confusing here something, or any questions are coming in your mind? Anyone? Can you imagine that in the first block, what will happen? Here, all blocks are communicating. Means how the chain are building. Chain are building like the block K has been stored in the block K plus 1, like in simply data structure linked list. The previous means the node contains the address of the next value. Again, the next node contains the address of the again next. So this simple architecture we have seen in the linked list architecture. Here also the same architecture you can assume. The differences is that we are storing the hash value of the previous block in our component. Again, block k plus 1 has been stored in the block k plus 2. So my point is, or it may be that the question is coming in your mind that what will happen in the initial block, because the initial block has the no previous hash. Okay, I am right. Okay, so what will happen? So in that, the initial block is called in the blockchain is the genesis block. A genesis block, the previous value is the nothing. But the next block, like for genesis block, after that the first block will contain the hash of the genesis block, and the second block will contain the hash of the first block. Now I'm coming on the point immutability. So here, can anyone change the information? Because the definition of immutability is that no one can change the information in the blockchain. So you can ask me that how is possible? It's possible. No one can change the information, because if I will change the information of block K, means I will simply change one transaction. So obviously the hash one means the hash of that transaction will change. Means what? Means that because the each hash value is unique. So for any content in the internet also, because we have to discuss a lot of things it, so I am not opening that calculation, but you can simply see in the internet that if you are writing that my name is Amritesh, and you will get the one hash. And if I am writing the my name is Amritesh, and I simply add one more H in the last of my name, Amritesh H, means simply you can see that the hash value will change. Means a single character changes, the hash value will change and drastically change. You can't find the similarity between the first hash and the second hash, but you have changed only simple one character, that is the H. Okay, so again, if I will change one transaction, then definitely the hash will change. So one hash will change, then definitely the next upper layer, means the child will leaf node will change, then intermediate node will change, then root will change, this root will change, then again the hash of this value will change. So obviously whole architecture will change. So you can simply guess that anyone are doing something. Means some attacker is doing something. For example, unfortunately somewhere you are finding that the something is happening, like in an earthquake situation, or in the means if thief is moving in some house, then you are thinking that okay, something is happening. In the same case here also, if one value will change, obviously everything will change. So what will happen? You will simply guess that okay, someone is doing something, and because it is on the average system, so after changing the one value, the whole means the single node value will change, and that single node to agree, means that single node will send a request to all nodes that please agree on this term. So you can understand that for simple term, how many complexity we have needed required to change the value. So that's why a blockchain is saying that the immutability, and obviously it will provide the boost in the 5G network. So how this support? Obviously the blockchain provide the high immutability in the 5G services, a spectrum sharing, data sharing, virtualized network resource provision, resource trading can be recorded immutability into the only appended blockchain. Means obviously this spectrum sharing or data sharing we don't want to change, or obviously in the case of virtualized network resource provision, we means if any intruder or any adversary node will change something here, definitely the drastically change in the whole environment of the 5G. So that's why we have needed the immutability. Here, device-to-device communication or ubiquitous IoT networking or large-scale human-centric interconnection obviously can be achieved by a peer-to-peer network of ubiquitous blockchain node without being modified or changed. See, actually, 5G network is the important component because we are getting the fast information communication, but we have required the immutability feature also. So simply blockchain is providing the immutability here. If we are implementing the blockchain in the 5G, then definitely the information will not change. So we not required to worry about, we are not required to worry that who will change the information and how. If someone will change the someone try to change the information, definitely all nodes will get that okay, something is happening. Okay. Now the transparency. All information of transaction on blockchain can be viewable to all network participants. Obviously, because we have been discussing that there is the decentralized feature, and due to decentralized and or more parameter, immutability feature is also happening. So transparency means all people or all users who is participating in the 5G network, they can see that the information. Now you can ask me that we have earlier discussed that we are using the cryptographical architecture to communicate the information, but here the information transparency. So actually these two terms are different. The difference is what here I am telling that whatever information I have, you have also the same information, and the third party will also have the same information. So now you can ask me that there are one problem. Okay, I am understanding that okay, I am also an owner, you are also an owner, and third person is also an owner. Then there is no data redundancy concept is here. Obviously, data redundancy concept is here. So for this purpose, we are using the interoperability concept. It means what? We are using that the important informations will be stored to the all parties in a communicated way, and the off informations means, for example, if we are storing the student record using the blockchain with 5G, then we simply store the student ID, their name, and the class, year of admission in and mobile phone in our main chain, or simply say the on chain, and rest of the record is in the backend part, in the off chain, in the side chain. And side chain will not communicate to each other, but the on chain node will communicate to each other. So here we are discussing the transparency and how the potential application of the transparency in the 5G services. The same copy of record blockchain is spread across a large network for public verifiability. This enables service provider and user to fully access, verify, and track transaction activities over the network with equal rights. Okay. So blockchain potentially offer the transparent ledger solution for truly open 5G architecture. Okay. Now the security and the privacy. So blockchain imply asymmetric cryptography for security with high authentication, integrity, and non-repudiation. The difference between symmetric and asymmetric cryptography is that in a symmetric, we are working on the same key, but in the asymmetric, we are working on the different key. Okay, so blockchain implies asymmetric cryptography for security with high authentication, integration, and non-repudiation. A smart contract available on blockchain can support data auditability, access control, and data provenance for privacy. Okay. Now, first I am discussing about the security, and when we will discuss about the security, you will simply get the idea that what are the role of this security and privacy in the 5G network. See here, this is one type of architecture, the blockchain and the 5G architecture. Here, simply you can see that this is the blockchain. See, focus only on here the blockchain and the 5G. Don't focus on the this is the smart healthcare, this is the smart city, smart grid. All these things are here. So for understanding purpose, the focus on the blockchain and the 5G, and then we will elaborate that what is the application, what are the role of this here. So see here, for example, through a 5G communication, okay, I'm simply telling you this is one blockchain, and any more blockchain here? No. So here the blockchain architecture, I am assuming that the all architectures have been connected to the blockchain because this is the core network here. So this is the dense figure. That's why we have shown here the simple one places, but we are assuming that this network is communicated through a 5G, and the blockchain, all nodes have been communicated through a blockchain. So here what is happening? For example, one vehicle wants to communicate, or one device wants to communicate with the other device, okay, through a 5G technology. Okay, so what will happen here? So blockchain based device to device communication, you can see here, you can simply see that the device are communicating with each other through a 5G. So as we know that 5G has great capacity, means great communication power, means that they are providing the fast communication, means the less bandwidth we have required, less delay. Now the blockchain. So what will happen here? First, every node has some information, and that's why it's centralized. Now, for few information we need to communicate. So we are discussing about the security and privacy. So as we know that the blockchain is following the asynchronous, means asymmetric cryptography. So what will happen? It's simply one device communicate the information to other device by using the cryptographic function. Now, when device wants to communicate with other device, obviously the information will be communicated. Okay, that information will be converted into a transaction. Okay, and we are using here the private network, so all device must be registered with the blockchain network, so there is no need for the more and more time registration, so single registration is sufficient here. So device is registered, and now simply wants to communicate the information, so it converts the communication into information into the transaction, and transaction will be stored in the blockchain. Okay, now it will communicate to the other device. Okay, so for the communication other device, okay, the other device will get that information. Now my point is, and you can also say that, then what is the big thing here? Obviously in 5G also it is happening. Here only the change rule is that we are converting the information into a transaction, and we are storing in the block, and all nodes will get that information. But what is the benefit these two devices? If I am using the lightweight device, obviously we will not store all information. Okay, so we are simply storing the partial information. It's a very lightweight info. Lightweight device means lightweight nowadays, because the lightweight terms is the very complex, because the lightweight nowadays the mobile has also capacity the 14 GB, 15 GB. So you can say that we have the 14 GB devices and we can communicate more information. Then why we have needed here the blockchain type of terms? We can simply encrypt the information, we communicate to the other device. No, here we have needed the blockchain because the first thing is that if uh, uh, the device will be an adversary, like the registered device will be adversary. For example, I am the registered user. Now my mind has changed, and now I want to disturb the other fellow. Okay, that I am simply modifying the information and pass to the user. Okay, but here in the blockchain we can't modify this. How? Because as we know that if we are registered, okay, then obviously our information has been stored in the blockchain, and the information has been stored in the blockchain. So if I want to disturb that information, so as we have seen that the all network node will change the content, means we have needed to change all the content. So what will happen? Obviously every node will get that okay, device one wants to change the information, so there is some problem, remove this device. First thing. Second thing is that now, okay, see, that problem has solved. Now I am communicating to the other device with the high speed. Now at that end, means the other device end, there is some problem. So what will happen? How they will get that information that there is some problem? So for that purpose, they will authenticate the particular device. Which device has sent the information? Okay, are that device is the trusted device or reputed device? Yes, if they have trusted, so obviously the device 2 has also record this. For example, in a phone, we are simply saving our friend numbers. Okay, so if the call is coming, we are saying that okay, my friend is calling. We have been trusted that okay, my friend is calling, so we can take this call. But if the unknown number is coming, nowadays we are using the Truecaller or that type of app to getting that the who is calling us. So obviously we have no record of that. So Truecaller is maintaining that record, or it has. And some people are also playing a game that there is no name in the Truecaller also. It means what? Your system has not a record of that user. So obviously you need to authenticate. You will simply think that the who is calling me. So for like that, the device is also thinking that who is communicating with us. So for that purpose, they perform the authentication. For authentication, obviously, it will perform, it will encrypt the information by its signature, and for the to authenticate the signature, the device 2 will use the public key to authenticate that signature, and so that it will confirm that okay, device 1 is the authenticated device and it is communicating with us. So this is the security. Now I am coming on the privacy term. So what is the privacy here? Means and first of all, what is the privacy and why we have needed the privacy? Privacy means, see, simply I am telling you that, for example, if because we are discussing about the smart city, so we have needed the smart voting system also. A smart city, every terms will be included in the smart city. So a smart transportation grid. So we simply say that the smart voting also. The smart voting means what? The online voting. Online voting means what? Simply we click on the app, vote app, and communicate this information. But there are a lot of adversaries are working between the sender to receiver. And the privacy term here is that if I am casting a vote for the guys, and no one can think that for whom I have casted the vote. Okay, or in the vehicle terms or in the device term, If device 1 is communicating the information to the other device, or simply in our daily life also, like in a police verification, police like if you want to complain for someone, or in the notice board also you have seen that the please tell me about that the this terrorist or robber, your name will be hidden form. That type of things we have seen in the report, in the notice board. So this is called, this is the privacy. Means if you will tell the name of the terrorist, but again your name will not publicly announce that the particular Mr. X has informed about that terrorist, because we will be in a trouble if terrorist will know our name that the Mr. X has informed about me. So this is the privacy. Means I want to communicate with you, but you can't find my details. This is the privacy. So blockchain play a major role in the privacy with the help of some cryptographic algorithm. There is one cryptographic term, its name is the blind signature. In the blind signature, the sender is sending to the information to the other device by using blinding the information, and the other device will simply sign on that and send to you. It means what? They have not seen what are the content in that. So this is one type of privacy. Second thing is that we are using the ECDS, elliptic curve Cepheid-Hellman exchange algorithm. It means what? We are means simple. One party is generating a key, and it will simply share to the sender and the receiver that these keys are there, and anyone can send you the information to you in an encrypted form, and you will simply decrypt that information by using that key. So this is the privacy. Okay, so these are the features which will be used to enhance the capacity of the 5G through the blockchain. Okay, so here we can see that there are a lot of things like the cloud computing, edge computing, software defined network, network function virtualization, network slicing, and device to device communication. All these communications, the blockchain play a major role in this. Okay, so for this purpose, we are using the blockchain and the 5G, and this is, I am telling you the one design principle. Here you can see this is the one very good architecture. See here, means block background definition and motivation, means like the blockchain background of 5G and the motivation for the blockchain and 5G integration. In the section 3, kindly focus on section 3 and section 4, that the blockchain for 5G enabling technology. So 5G enabling technology like cloud computing, cloud RAN, radio access network, mobile edge computing, software defined network, SDN, network function virtualization, network slicing, device to device communication, blockchain for 5G services, how it has been implemented. This is the spectrum management, data sharing, network virtualization, federated learning, resource management, inference management, privacy and security services. Means all these features is provided by the blockchain for 5G services. And blockchain for 5G IoT application, a smart healthcare, a smart city, a smart transportation, a smart grid, and unmanned aerial vehicle, you may simply say drone. Means here, these are the 5G technology in section 3 for which we are using the blockchain, and how blockchain has been implemented for 5G services, that the like for the spectrum management, data sharing, okay, network virtualization, federated learning, resource management, inference management, and privacy and security services. Okay, so now I am coming on the conclusion and open to you that if you have any questions, please ask. Thank you. Anyone? Any questions?
Anybody, if has any questions, please kindly you can ask or post in chat. We'll wait for a minute, Amriti sir. It
Yeah,
was
definitely.
really a very nice presentation, sir. I hope everybody
you.
has taken a good advantage of it. We'll hold on for questions.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Application of blockchain in medical field. Ritika, am I right? Means you want to know about the blockchain in medical field. Ritika, am I audible? See, actually, yes. See, actually, like in the smart transportation, or we are saying that a smart home. In a smart healthcare also, I am telling one example: the patient and the doctor and the hospital. So, patient X is facing some problem today. So, doctor is suggesting to him to go to a test report, and Mr. X is getting some report like his CBC is like something, his blood pressure is like now this, his blood condition is like hemoglobin is like this. Now, due to some reason, I'm just telling you that the how blockchain is working in the smart healthcare. Due to some reason, Mr. X is moving from Delhi to Jodhpur with that report, and there is no connection from that doctor because except on the telephone or mobile. Means there is no physical connection. And after 2 days, Mr. X is getting again some problem. So in Jaipur, what will happen? Again, Mr. X will admit in the hospital. Okay, and what will happen? Again, he will say to doctor that, sir, I have tested 2 days back, and I'm getting this report. And doctor sir was telling that it's fine. So either he has to show that report in the mobile or in the hard copy. Okay, so doctor will say that okay, this report is fine, but why you are in a trouble right now? So can you please go for a other test? And that test duration is means because if the report is not good or if the report is good, but I am not believing on this report. Normally nowadays this is happening. If you are moving from one doctor to other doctor, they will say that no, that report is not good. I have not believed on that report, so kindly go to the this report. Okay, now the blockchain play a major role here. I'm simply telling one example here. Blockchain will doing what here? The hospital is connected through a blockchain. So all informations in the distributed way. So doctor is also getting the informations that the patient X has been suffered from some problem 2 days back. Patient is also getting that the okay, uh, the Jaipur doctor is also connected to this, and what will happen here? All records like the 5 years, 10 years back record is also available to all the doctors and all the hospitals, because blockchain is following that the decentralized architecture or distributed architecture. So what will happen? First thing, no need to visit for a test, because they will get that information through the blockchain, means they are not. Second thing is that if I am if patient is telling that the I have a past record of this, uh, again the past record of this, but sometimes the patient have missed some information, but again the doctor will get that information also through that, through the centralized decentralized architecture. Again, now for the security reason, information will not be changed, because all information in the hashed form. Transparency, doctor is also seeing your information, you are also seeing your information. And now you can tell that then where is the privacy? The privacy here is that what means, you will simply put that the concise informations of your record, okay, and the detailed record with you, so that the privacy is also maintained. So based on that, we can simply say that the smart healthcare will get benefited if they will use the blockchain. Nowadays, you have seen in your real life that the hospital, 5 to 6 hospital is connected. So if you move from one hospital to that second hospital, then definitely no need for test. But if you will move from a 7th hospital, you have required that test information, or your, or simply you have missed your past information. So definitely you have not your old record, but doctor wants to see that the old record. So in that case, it will be a problem. So you can store your information in the distributed ledger. So this is the main benefit of the smart healthcare due to the blockchains. Means you have not lost your information. You are not required to repeat the function of the testing. You are not required to get some functionality again and again. And how this will happen? This is due to the blockchain. Any more doubt? Ritika, are you getting your answer? Any more doubt?
I think no more doubts, sir. I think we can conclude the session. So on the conclusion, thank you, Amritesh, sir,
Thank you.
for the detailed presentation on 5G technology and blockchain. And thank you, PBC, sir, for the presentation. And as a token of gratitude, we would like to present a virtual memento.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
I
Thank
request
you,
all
one
of
and all.
you. I request all of you to turn on your cameras for a virtual photograph before we end the session. Shubham, if you could stop sharing your screen, maybe we can get a nice view for the
Everybody, please turn on the camera. Participants, we kindly request you to turn on the camera for just a minute.
Sir is there? Hello, Abhi. Speaker is there?
Yes, sir.
Speaker is left, I think. Huh?
No, sir. Speaker is also here only.
Okay, but
we just
photo.
wanted a virtual photographs, so we have requested everyone to turn on the camera.
Okay, okay, okay.
You can, thanks, sir.
Okay, then thank you all for attending. And
You've taken the photo, no?
we,
Samarth and Arabi?
Yes, we have taken.
Okay, okay, okay.
yes, sir. Yes, sir. So as per to the event tomorrow, we have Frontiers in Computing. The talk is given by Mr. 𝗙𝗿𝗁𝗁, Senior Director of Engineer, Google, USA. So the talk will start at 5:30 p.m. Please join.
So
Thank you
5:30
once again.
he is comfortable, right? USA, that time will be morning. Will it not be too early for him? 5:30, right? Confirm, right?
Sir,